Welcome to the Divine Design Podcast with your host, Chrissy Morales. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great day today. Want to let you know this podcast is about living your best life, giving you the tools, tips, and tricks to live your best life, but also hoping that you I help you to grow your spiritual awareness that actually you live in a spiritual world. It is good against evil. And as I've walked through my journey, I see this more and more daily that God's hand is in everything. And God tests you each and every day, whether he's in allowing it. So anyways, without further ado, do-da-diddly-day from Casper's side. I'm gonna have to reach out to Casper's side and go, hey man, I'm gonna let you know I do all your lines. But anyways, all right, so what we're talking about today is to live boldly and unapologetically. I've probably learned this more after losing Steve, more so than I ever have known this. Like if you know me, you know, that's how I live my life anyways. I'm bold, I'm brazen, I push the envelope, I say things that people don't say. I kind of am unfiltered, and just what you see is what you get. And thank the Lord that I've lived my life that way, honestly. But now so more than ever, God is showing me and telling me to tell you guys to live your life boldly and unapologetically. And that doesn't mean being rude or anything of that nature. This does not come from a negative place, at all. This is through positivity, love and light. So, and what I mean by living boldly and unapologetically is once you actually, I believe, have a true connection with Jesus Christ, where you are praying to him, like he is what you think about first. Like, do you wake up in the morning and the first thing you think about is all the problems that you have, everything that, needs a solution, or, oh, my husband this, or my children, or at work this, and do you wake up in the morning like that? Do you live your life like that? This is what I'm kind of talking about. Like, no. Wake up, you live boldly, unapologetically, and with Jesus Christ in your life. And I wake up every morning now just giving thanks to him. Thank you so much for, I'm alive. Thank you for that. Thank you that my back, is not hurting as bad, as it has been normally. Things of that nature. Thank you so much for blessing me with a boyfriend that loves me and that thinks about God first. That's a beautiful spot to be in, and a spot that I wish for everybody. Maybe you're like, I don't believe in God, but you live in a magical world. You live in a universe that law of attraction is real. There has to be something greater than ourselves. So I would say, even if you don't believe in God, you probably know, man, all of this, our whole world, everything, the beauty, this has to be at least made up something greater ourselves. Then we know that. All right, let's say, all right, we're not going to talk about God. Okay. We're going to live boldly and unapologetically. And what would that mean if I'm somebody who doesn't believe in God or doesn't believe in a higher power? Well, I've always believed in God, so thank God for that. But there are times when I've gotten closer and further away from him on my walk. Okay. I'm walking with him hand in hand now, and I don't want to do it any other way. Once you experience this blissfulness, man, he's fucking amazing. He fucking blows my mind each and every day. He blows me mind on the people that he brings into my life, because I pray for that every morning. Lord, please bring the people into my life that you want me to help through your words, through your grace. Give you the glory. But not only that, Lord, please bring the people into my path that you want me to learn from, that I need to learn something from them, or whatever it may be. So I'm praying for that daily. And it happens. Actually, God delivers. And it's amazing. I'm starting to be in touch so much with myself and my intuition, my soul and my gut, that things around me that are happening they're just unbelievable. The power that we truly have with God inside of us and the things that God allows us to do is amazing if you recognize it. If you truly recognize and pay attention to these things. Like this morning, I'm going to change brokerages. Love where I've been, but we don't need to be there anymore. Some things have happened and made this decision. So I'm like, all right, I want to go back to Holmquist and Associates Realty. All right, H&A. We're going to go back to H&A Realty. Contact them over a period of time. Call Rachel, daughter-in-law, love her to death. Rachel Holmquist, shout out, hey! But love her to death. But she called me going like, hey, I need a new broker because Gretchen's not going to renew her license. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? We're about to come back. Wait a minute. So the plan is that I was going to go and get my broker's license. And I'm like, all right, Rachel, I got to get this done before January 1. You want to have your license moved over? We'll make this happen. Lo and behold, Gretchen texts. Need to talk to you. I think I'm going to renew my license. I'm like, Lord, you're so awesome. Because Lord knows I do not want to get a broker's license. Anybody that knows me, I've been selling real estate for over 29 years, and I do not want a fucking broker's license. I just don't. People think I'm crazy for that, but I just don't. Anyways, so, it's funny how God delivers and the fact that I accepted. I think when God has you to a place where you just accept it, okay, he turns your situation around. My whole point in saying this was I'm sitting in front of my fireplace this morning and I'm like, all right, I just finished my phone calls and I'm going to sit here for 1 second. I'm getting ready to call Gretchen. Guess who calls me? Gretchen. We didn't have a scheduled phone call. We didn't have anything. We've been trying to connect with each other since before the holiday. This is how God works. This is how your intuition works. What I believe about this is I thought about her. She was thinking about me. I felt that. I'm going to call her. This is how God works. It truly, truly does. And I don't know. I can't explain all that, but it's intuition, following your soul, your gut, and I believe having God within you that allows the openness, the spiritual awakening in your life, that just he moves in different ways. And if you recognize that this is the Lord, man, I've gone off on a tangent because this is about living bold and unapologetically. And this is part of what I'm going to talk about today is, kind of the intuition and whatnot. But, at least you got that real and raw about my experience this morning. But what I mean by this is my walk now and walking hand in hand with Jesus every day and going to him for guidance on everything has changed my life. And it's all for the better. And you know what? I honestly wish that I would have figured this out a long time ago, because where I could be spiritually today, recognizing and understanding these things, of course, I'll never understand God, but I just wonder where I would be. And so I'm so excited about my walk and where I am, but what this really means, and this podcast stays, living your true, authentic self. What I've learned as well is there's a lot of people out there hurting. We know that. They're hurting day in, day out. And because of that hurt, it makes them react in a way that maybe if they lived a different life, they would respond differently. And so what I've learned is that people's truly their hurts and their responses, if they haven't dealt with things internally and whatnot, they react or respond a certain way, and that may not be their true authentic self and how they truly need to respond. I hope this is making sense. All I can talk about is my experience and what I'm experiencing. I'm gonna back up. So before Steve dies, I'm gonna let you know, living boldly and unapologetically is basically how I've always lived. This is me living boldly and apologetically in a different way now. But what I mean by that, boldly and unapologetically, is the fact that, look, I fucking have manifested everything in my life. Whether I've been walking close to God or far away, I've manifested every motherfucking thing. I do believe in the law of attraction. And that's how my manifestation is done. I do vision boards. I have goals. I'm looking at those things and I'm always pushing and trying to get to that goal or whatever it may be. There's things that I'm thinking about. My thoughts are powerful, and what you think about is what you are. So make sure that you're thinking the right things and you're feeding yourself with your own, inner voice, the right words with positivity. My life has been manifested. I run a successful real estate company. All of this, my life is manifestation. Now, it does come back from me being a little girl and things that have happened to me in my life, the negative things, and how I reacted to them. Let's start with, parents. Dad divorces my mom when I'm in the 8th grade, but divorces the family too. Dad brings his new family into the house that we all lived in and still lives in that house to this day, with my stepmother. And those kids, I believe, were moved in that house for a period of time, which, to me, I'm like, But look, you're conditioned and you learn to react a certain way. It's not until I did the 12 steps, and this is a recovery. This is in the big book, AA book. It talks about the 12 steps. That's how I know about this. Now, I'm sure the 12 steps are in other things. I talked to one of my girlfriends and she goes, that actually is a Catholic thing. I don't know enough about that, and I haven't researched that, so I don't know about that. But the 12 steps, and we'll talk about that in another episode, and really how I've come to believe what I believe, walk what I walk now, and experience what I experience. What I'm experiencing, I believe everybody should. This is true peace, comfort, and joy. True. I thought I had peace, comfort, and joy before this. I didn't have shit. That was a hurt little girl who reacted to things until I literally dug into myself and said, all right, no, this is not who I want to be. This is how I'm going to respond. I actually feel like an adult. I'm 49 fucking years old. And I finally feel like an adult, and it's because how I handle things and how I respond to things. That doesn't mean that I'm not a complete, childish little person, individual that, look, I like to have fun. I have fun in anything we do. Team meetings, I could be standing in line at Walmart and have fun. I'll talk to anybody. I know no stranger. That's how I live my life. That's why I mean boldly and apologetically. Be who you are. Shine your light onto the world. Let God recognize that you have a little piece of God in you and use that for God's glory and the ability to help people in their lives to change their lives as well. I'm going to do these podcasts, whether these help people or not, I don't know, but I know when I have interactions with people and I tell my story, people can resonate with that. People tell me, thank you for sharing. My goodness, I didn't realize that, or this, and what I'm going to take away from your story is this. That's what I mean by living boldly and unapologetically is, people, tell those people you love them. Tell people honestly what they need to hear or your truth. Don't lie. That's one thing I would do these little white lies, and I'll give you an example. Somebody may call to want to book an appointment and they say, I can do Thursday at 5. And I'm like, I ain't doing no Thursday at 5 o'clock. I want to go home, or I would rather be at dinner or whatever that may be. So I might say, I'm sorry, I'm booked. Let me know of another time that works for you. Well, that is a white lie. I don't do that anymore. I just truly say what it is. Like, no, I'm not going to do that time, but I could do Wednesday at 4 and give them other options and go from there. And so just know everything that you do in your life and what you say and what you do is conditioned. But if you do these little white lies and you lie in your life, you get to a point where you don't even realize what you're doing. You don't even realize that you are spurting lies, and maybe those white lies become bigger lies. And it's okay. And just know God does not like liars. I just stepped through my own thing to realize this about myself. So I date Tim and love him. But at one point in time in our relationship, he told me, because I lied to him about something so stupid. But you know what it was? I was conditioned from my past relationship of 18 years to do little white lies about that bullshit because I didn't want to have to deal with that person and what they thought, because even what they thought of me was skewed. And so I just fuck it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to tell them, whatever that may be. But I'm going to tell you what it was with Tim. It was one night. It was a Friday night. He asked me if I was going to go to Recovery Road. Recovery Road's every Friday night. And of course, I'm there. I love the people there and I love him. And so I go to support him. But God is there. We'll talk about Recovery Road at the end. Don't let me forget. But it was a Friday night. And he said, "Are you going to come to Recovery Road tonight?" And I said, "No, I'm not. You know why?" I'm sorry. I might have said, "Well, I'm not real sure about that. I'll let you know if I'm there, I'm there. If I'm not, I'm not." And I had already decided in my mind, no, I'm going to go hang out with the girlies. I want to go have a drink. I just don't want to do that tonight. I just need to go have some drinks. And Recovery Road ends, and I guess he reached out to me, text. I didn't respond. And I usually respond, "Look, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a heavy drinker or anything of that nature. I drink socially and that's it." And so I guess because I didn't respond, or I'm not really sure what happened, but regardless, he got in his car and came over to my house and I wasn't home. And so when I finally got home, which I think I just missed him. I think he just left my house and I didn't know that. But I got home and I texted him. I looked at the text finally and I texted him and I said, "I was asleep. I just got up. I love you, blah, blah, blah." And it was late. It was probably 11:30 or something like that. I'm not sure. Could have even been midnight. And he literally texts back, "Chrissy, is that what you want to tell me?" And I'm like, And he was like, "I just was at your house." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." But you know what? Why did I even lie about that? I could have just been honest with him and said, "Babe, look, I don't want to go tonight, but you know what? Here's what it was for me. I felt bad. I didn't want to tell him, 'Oh, hey, this is Recovery Road. You're dealing with recovering addicts and alcoholics, and I want to go out tonight and have drinks, and maybe I'm going to get fucked up. Who knows?" But it taught me a valuable lesson to get called out on it, and I'm so glad it happened. Because I don't do that anymore. And I am, what you see is what you get with me. That's true. But I live boldly, unapologetically, and truthful these days. 100%. Not that I was a liar. I guess I say it was. If you even do a white lie, I guess you are a liar. I don't live my life like that anymore. And it's fucking freeing to live unapologetically, boldly, and to say what you need to say in every circumstance. I mean, I don't say things to hurt people's feelings, but you can say things tactfully the way that you need to be able to express your truths. Because you know what? You shouldn't be apologizing for who you are in any way, shape, or form in the way you think, feel, whatever that may be. And that's what I mean by living boldly and unapologetically. If people truly got down to be their true, authentic selves and lived that life and experienced true peace, joy, and happiness, I think this would be it would be a different world. We would live in a completely different world. And just think, if we really did all live that way, the difference that we could truly make in people's lives and a difference we could make in the world. I truly believe that. But this is this is our topic for today, is just to be your true, authentic self. Next time, I think we do need to talk about the 12 steps. What has enabled me to live this way? Because it's invaluable. And to think that this is a tool that is strictly, and I haven't researched this either, guys, so I don't know if the 12 steps are used in other things, but this is a tool mostly for, recovering addicts and alcoholics, and more so alcoholic, I believe. To bring this tool into your life and to use that tool, because it's a process and it's an ongoing process, and let's say it's a lifestyle. It is. It's a lifestyle. It will change your life. I promise you. You want a better life? You need to do this. So our next episode, I will talk about the 12 steps, what it actually entails, my experience, how it's changing my life. And truly, this is why divine design is even happening. Because when I pray, meditate, and journal, and that's what about the 12 steps is, it's actually about spiritual awakening as well, and going through this process, and going through a process to actually know yourself better and deal with your hurts, hangups, and habits has been amazing. And I hope that everyone experiences this. That here's honestly what I'm going to say. There's no way to live. This is the way to live life. I truly believe this is the true meaning to life, to be filled with love. Man, guys, you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And there's so many people with self-loathing. It's the unspoken. We don't want to talk about it. We're going to talk about these things too. And I'm going to help you to tackle these things so that you can truly, honestly live your best life. And that's what I'm here for. And you can do this without God. I mean, I believe you can do this without God, but the integral step and I think the true peace, joy, and comfort comes through Jesus Christ. That's really what I have to say today is, and we're going to talk about this in episode to come about, everything that I talk about is about living boldly and unapologetically, and living brazen, and being able to push yourself and be in the uncomfortable to actually change things in your life, because I believe you need to live in the uncomfortable in order to really grow, learn, and help people and experience things that you need to experience. I don't think that this is obtained in contentment, in commonplace. So I encourage you to live boldly and unapologetically. But guys, that's really what our podcast was about today, is really just living your true, authentic self. We will help you and give you tips and tools on how to truly accomplish that. But that if you do, there is a peace, comfort, and joy, and I don't even really know how to express it. But when you're there, and when you're experiencing it. I guess that's really all I got to say about that. Basically, in closing, just going to let you know that that's what this podcast is all about, helping you live your best life, sharing stories. We're going to start interviewing people, which I'm getting super excited about some of the people coming on board to share their stories. And I'm going to just be so excited to learn more about them. And what my plan is we're going to be raw and real. Like, I don't want anything scripted on these podcasts. And I want to, when I sit them down and we interview these folks, you're going to get their real, raw experiences, story, whatever this may be for them. Because I think I'm such a real and raw girl that that's how we're going to bring it on Divine Design. So, all right, guys, until next time, peace, love, joy, Jesus. I love you guys. Until next time, hope you have a great one. If you want your life divinely designed, like this, drop a comment, and subscribe. As Casper Site says, do the thing.